It is early morning. You get up, put your clothes on, go downstairs, eat breakfast, and make yourself your morning coffee. All of those things have one thing in common: GMOs. The idea of genetically modifying our plants may seem scary. In fact, the fact that they're unavoidable doesn't help our trendy GMO-based fears. But genetic modification is one of the most important technologies for humanity's achievement and survival. To understand the benefits of GMOs, we're going to cover the misconceptions found in your grocery store, as well as the benefits of having such GMOs in our present and upcoming future. GMOs have been the trendiest thing to hit the grocery store in the past 10 years. But according to article writer Kevin Moody of the Washington Examiner, all of that stuff may not be that great. The Non-GMO Project has existed since 2007, and it has been putting up a lot of negative energy for the idea of genetic modification. Basically, there's complaints of the idea that GMOs, the general complaint to the GMO idea is that it can be harmful to humans. Now that is not true. So you can be the average, let's just say you're an average person, yeah, that may make sense, who wants to put something lab grown in your body? Like you have, especially if it hasn't existed for a very long time, that makes sense. But there's something out there that actually helps us make sure that we are safe. Kevin Moody agrees with this. There's something known as the FDA, and they are very good at managing the things that we eat and making sure that what we eat is safe. 280 organizations involved with the FDA, according to Moody, have tested all GM crops to make sure that they are consumable for people. And every time they do it, they have no evidence that proves that GMO crops are more harmful than regular crops. They're exactly the same, just as safe. Now we are going to move on to the present day of genetic modification, and we're going to see how things have changed in the past several years since the existence of GMOs. Genetic modification allows us to do so much that is not possible without it. Here are a few modern examples. According to the Cornell Chronicle, there was a modified eggplant that was basically created to reduce the use of pesticides in Bangladesh because it was making the farmers sick. Basically, this eggplant is modified to have pesticides in it, so when the pests try to consume the crop, they will die. What this is basically they modified the plant to contain a protein. This protein is very similar to what's found in caffeine and chocolate. Both of these things can be eaten by humans, but if you give caffeine to an insect, it will kill the insect, and if you give chocolate to a dog, it will kill it. Both, same thing. You can eat it, but your pets nor insects can't. So, they do a lot of that stuff with people, and it's actually really safe. It doesn't harm humans. It only harms the really tiny insects. Then, another article company called Food Insight also reported another GM crop known as the GM papaya that basically saved Hawaii. So what happened was in the late 90s, there was a papaya issue, a rain virus that was basically spreading to every papaya on the island and pretty much annihilated like a really large chunk of the population, like 90% or higher. So what happened was some researchers decided to create a form of papaya that was resilient to this virus, and it managed to save the Hawaiian papaya population. So if you like papaya, you should be thankful because the papaya still exists thanks to this genetic modification that was done 20 years ago. Finally, we will cover the future of GMOs. When it comes to modifying organisms, the power of GMOs make the plant's abilities seem limitless. According to The Guardian, there is a crop in development that is being designed to resist droughts, and it's being tested exclusively in Africa. Now, just imagine that. Imagine having a crop that is completely resilient to droughts. So you can grow it anywhere, in any extreme environment, and you can feed people no matter what. That will help third world countries immensely, and it will help solve the world hunger issue. Secondly, Science in the News reports the findings of a new crop known as golden rice. Basically what this is a nutrient-dense crop, so it has more nutrients than conventional rice, actually twice the amount. And what this means is we can actually, if we can do this with rice, we can do this with any crop. So Imagine that. You have crops that are even healthier than organic crops, organic plants that you get in your grocery store. So you have an apple that could have like vitamin D in it. Like imagine that. That would be insane. So, you know, human nutrition will change completely when this happens. People will be healthier for sure. Alliance for Science, another article online publisher, also found that there was, they also reported a crop that basically that maintains nitrogen levels. And this is being tested on some farms as well. What it does is it basically regulates the nitrogen levels in the soil to make crops more efficient and, you know, less prone to dying. Because if the nitrogen levels are too high or too low, that can destroy your crop yields. So as a farmer, that's pretty damn cool. I believe that farmers do actually have to spend a lot of extra money on fertilizer. And, you know, if your fertilizer is regulated like this, you won't have to spend as much money and you'll have more crops. Therefore, it will be more profitable to be a farmer at this time. All in all, it seems that GMOs have helped humanity progress into a new era of prosperity. Countless labs have researched the safety of our GMOs in our food supply and have found that they are just as safe as normal, non-modified foods or crops. All of those things peddled, you know, all that stuff is completely disproven. All those negative messages by the anti-GMO groups, such as the Non-GMO Crops Project, are totally disproven. University research projects have also resulted in the prevention of countless crop losses thanks to the development of resilient GMO plants. With further experimentation in these new concepts, we're going to be capable of developing crops that can aid humanity with future endeavors, such as extreme environments. Now, the next time you think about GMOs, think about their benefits and how they'll allow you as a person to enjoy a higher standard of living. Thank you.